Hi, I'm Mark Mazzaferro, and it's time for another episode of What's the Plan? And with us, as always, on What's the Plan is Community Development Director Barton Brierley. Barton, thank you for being here today.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Good. You know, it's that time of year where we start looking back at our accomplishments in 2017 as we get ready for the State of the City. And today we're going to talk about what happened in your department this last year, aren't we?
Yes, and lots been going on. We've been very busy.
Yeah, you know, and it's that's if there's one recurring theme in this production, it's that you're busy down there, aren't you?
We are definitely busy. Always lots going on.
But that's a good thing,
Yes,
know,
it is.
because when we talk about our community and the growth of our community, both residentially and commercially, if it's not happening down in your department, that's not a good thing for us, is it?
Yes, and it's good stuff that's happening. I think it's making the community a better place, and we're growing, and good things are happening.
Absolutely. All right, so let's start right off.
Okay.
A lot of construction going on this year, huh?
Yeah, we had quite a bit. It's 317 new dwelling units this year, which is actually a little bit down from previous years, but still, that's a lot. That's the size of some small towns that only have that many in the whole town. So, so that's quite a bit of construction, and almost $50 million of commercial and industrial development has happened. So that's a lot.
And that's important because, of course, the revenue is good for us, but it brings jobs and tax revenue and all kinds of good things to our community.
Yeah, places to live. It makes it, brings the revenue that we can provide all the other things that the city provides.
Right, and I noticed that you did a lot of permitting online too.
Yeah, we've that's been a real success. We have our e-Track It program, and you can actually apply for building permits online. We're doing 40% of our building permits online now.
I use that just to research who's in town and where they're at in the process. It's a pretty good tool.
Yes, yeah, and homeowners can look up their house and see what permits have been issued. Or if you're looking at buying a house, you can go online and say, yes, they got a permit for that addition, or they didn't. Find out information about that.
I get that call occasionally. I used to get a lot more of my previous employment. I've gotten it here a couple times. Yeah, I bought a home and I'm having it appraised, and the appraisal doesn't match what's on record with the county. How do I fix that? You know, it's like, well, you should have checked before you bought the house. Because now you got to get an architect and blah, 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 and submit plans. But anyway, it's a good tool to have.
Yes.
So home building, construction, great. How about business projects?
We've had quite a bit this year. There's a couple big projects we had this year. We had finished off the Nut Tree, the area near the freeway with the new building with the Xfinity and the Noah's Bagels. So that's good to see that project being finished up.
They got a sign up. They're hiring. So
yes, it's a good job.
We're inching closer and closer to Bagel Day in Vacaville.
Yes. And actually 345,000 square feet of industrial space. That's a lot of industrial space. A lot of that was in the new Amazon sortation center that was built in Vacaville. So, and again, they're looking to hire. They did a big hiring push. So good time to get a job.
And not to give away too much, but there's more on the way.
Oh, yes. We've been working with other developers and doing more facilities like that. So, yeah, that's been a real popular thing lately.
Now, I understand there's a new, coffee place in town. Or is it a coffee place?
It's a coffee place. It's kind of a sweet coffee place or a teenage coffee place. It's called Dutch Bros. They opened up. I know a lot of people were looking forward to a long time. And, and they're busy.
Yeah, they are definitely busy.
Yeah.
Dutch Bros. Yeah, I got corrected. I was doing an interview about Dutch Brothers' arrival in town and some issues with it. And I kept calling it Dutch Brothers, and I was corrected immediately. It's Dutch Bros. Okay,
yes.
Dutch Bros.
Yes.
And if you look at the sign, that's what it says, right?
Yes.
Dutch Bros. Okay.
It used to be Dutch Brothers.
That's
when
what
they started
I thought.
out, it was Dutch Brothers,
But, okay, Dutch Bros. Whatever. Whatever. They took an empty lot and turned it into a very viable commercial entity that's good for us and good for the people who, many years, asked us to get one of those, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, on both sides. It was just kind of a rundown old
gas
station that was not very attractive. And so to get that facility on that site and to promote business and get people here, it's been good.
It was attractive to homeless people. They were kind of living in one of those back buildings there that Dutch Brothers is now using for storage. So, I mean, it's all good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I get the traffic issue, but I drove by there 3 times today, and, they were busy, but they weren't out in the street, so.
Yeah,
I
I
mean-
think it's a mark of success.
Right.
If we get traffic complaints and parking complaints about new businesses, we've succeeded.
Yeah.
Because they're popular and they're doing good business.
I mean, I totally understand concerns, and if it gets to be that bad, then yeah, we'll address it.
Mm-hmm.
But that once that newness wears off, we'll move on, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So a couple of years ago, God, is it 2 years already? 3 years?
yeah, 2.5 years.
The
ago.
general plan was adopted, which took a few years
Yes.
in and of itself. But now we're moving forward with implementation. So what's happening there?
Well, we've been working very hard to implement the general plan. One of the big steps we took this last year was to update our municipal services review and get the sphere of influence adopted. So basically the general plan plans for where the city will grow in the future, but the city doesn't necessarily have the ability to annex that land or to plan for growth in there without approval of sphere of influence. And so we did the work. In order to expand our sphere of influence, we have to show that we can serve that area. So we did the municipal services review, showed that we could serve those areas, went through that process, and that was adopted by the local agency formation commission, or LAFCO. So that was a big step forward to being able to implement the general plan.
Something I've always wondered about LAFCO. Do they have a lot of laughs there?
It's
LAFCO,
it's a
right?
laugh a minute, yes.
I would
Yes.
imagine.
It's like Rowan Martin's
Just
LAFCO, yes.
one comedy bit after another. Oh,
Yes.
Okay. I should start attending the meetings if it's that fun. Real quick though, you talk about the sphere of influence. How about the urban growth boundary and the sphere of? I mean, how do those go together at all? Are they separate entirely, or how's that work?
Well, they are different lines, but we did expand the sphere of influence out to match the urban growth boundary. So now they're the same.
So projects that are now in the sphere of influence and within the urban growth boundary, which is the same, do we need to go back to LAFCO and annex that land in, or
Yes.
is that those you still do? Okay, all right.
Yes, and so that's done on more project by project
Gotcha.
basis. So it's basically we have ability to annex those areas, but we'll make proposals to do that kind of one property at a time.
All right, so let's talk about some of the projects that are coming along because of the new general plan.
Yeah, one of the big ones was the Roberts Ranch specific plan. The city council adopted that. That's a plan for it's about 248 acres, 785 single-family homes, and a park and a school site and some other nice features in that project. So that was a project we worked on for quite a bit, hearing environmental documents and everything, and council adopted it. And so now that we took that to LAFCO to be annexed, and so that's an example of a property that was annexed to the city, and we're now reviewing construction plans for the.
So they haven't
actual
broken
development.
ground on any models or anything yet. That's
No.
still going through the process.
Yes.
Okay, but and a long process it is, but it's that way on purpose in a lot of cases.
Yes, yeah, you could see ground break next year.
Good. Well, if there's one thing we need, this is going to sound crazy, but housing is important. And a lot of people say, well, how do you deal with the housing crisis and the affordability of housing? Simple solution is build more housing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So by the same token, sometimes builders want to wait until they can maximize the price they can get for the homes. Totally understood. But
Yeah.
if the need is there, let's build it.
Yeah, I mean, there's that cycle of life where you need different housing for different times of your life. There's times that you need an apartment, times you need a nice single-family house, other kinds of housing depending on where you are in life.
Yeah, and that's why I was happy we had that accessory structure thing passed, because I'm hoping my daughter builds a place out back that I can go live at some point. She can
Yes.
bring me breakfast and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm
the
not
accessory
crawling
dwelling.
crossing my fingers or holding my breath on that one, but you never know. So what else general plan-wise is going on?
We did a number of code updates to address things on the general plan. For example, an urban reserve ordinance, an agricultural buffer ordinance. We did the accessory dwelling unit ordinance. We actually adopted a new building code this year.
Just a little thing we threw in there.
Yeah, every 3 years, the state updates the building code, and then we adopt it. So actually, we've been very busy on doing code amendments.
Yeah.
Transportation, we did an amendment on transportation. We updated our bike path plans and things like that. So.
Good old bike path. One of these days we're going to have a map of all the bike paths in town. Maybe I should talk to our GIS guy, you think?
Yeah.
Could he help us?
Yeah, we're, it's...
I get a lot of requests for that, and I take full responsibility for not having something produced by now. But it changes all the time, too, so there's my out, right?
Yeah, well, that's actually on the desk and working on it.
Oh, so. Good. It's your fault then.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, so that was a lot in 2017.
Yes.
What's coming ahead? Everybody wants to know what are the plans in 2018?
Yeah. Well, one of the big projects that you'll see is the Farm at Alamo Creek project. Mm-hmm. That is east of Leisure Town and north of Elmira Road. There's a property there that's going to be proposed for including 768 residential units. That's where the Play for All Park will be, mm-hmm. and adjacent 7 acres of community park. Mm-hmm. A commercial area, a small commercial site there, and parks and trails and a detention pond. And
oh boy, what a great feature!
Yeah, they're actually.
Can I go fishing in the detention pond?
Well, they actually are planning on making it an amenity.
Oh,
so they're
good.
doing a walking trail around it so
Nice.
that you can enjoy it, and it'll.
I live up in North Village, and there's a retention pond. I know there's a difference, but there's a pond there, and
Mm-hmm.
it fills up when it rains, right? And it's like, I look at it and I think, I get that it's important that it's there. It has to be there because of the impacts that the housing, the grading does to the land. But it's like, couldn't they have made that more accessible or nicer or something? It's got a fence around it. You can't get in it, but it's like, wow, that's a big chunk there that. Could we do something with it? Here's the answer.
Yeah, those are always a challenge because you have that form and function sort of thing. They have to function, and there's always the concern about the safety and maintenance of them. But in some cases, they can be a feature for the area too.
Yeah, they could put a path around. I'll talk to the landowner. Yeah, right. So, other than homes, what else is going on business-wise?
Well, we are really going to be working on attracting businesses, like you mentioned the Amazon facility, or I mentioned the Amazon facility.
Hi, go ahead, you're good.
And we're trying to attract new businesses, so we have actually a pretty good supply of industrial land. What we need to work on is making sure the services are there, so we're extending a water line up to serve in the northern industrial areas. Mm-hmm. And we're doing a project to kind of make it easier for those businesses to come in when they're ready to come, kind of pre-to some of the environmental studies, the traffic studies. So we have this, we call it the Vacaville Industrial Park Environmental Review Project, or more affectionately known as Viper.
Project Viper.
Yeah, so
I love it.
Yes.
Well, it's funny. We took... recently, Don Burris, our economic development manager, and I took some investors on a tour of our city. It was last week. And we started at the industrial end of town, of basically Midway Road, and worked our way back through the industrial park, the commercial areas, through the Nut Tree, and then to downtown. And it's interesting when you take these tours with people who have some level of familiarity with Vacaville. Yeah, I went to the Nut Tree when I was a little girl, or we've driven by the Vacaville on our way to Tahoe. And so, yeah, that's nice. But when they come into the city and see the city, and certainly this is from an investor's point of view who works with developers and real estate concerns, they were shocked at how much, first of all, how beautiful our community is in general. And secondly, the land that's available for any number of types of developments, from infill projects downtown to commercial projects out in the industrial park to the aforementioned Eubanks area project with the water pipe. I mean, we have a lot of opportunity in this town that is available and is becoming more and more known with each passing day.
Yeah, definitely. And again, that's just helps our local economy. It provides local jobs. It provides funding for all the services that we all enjoy. So it really helps our community.
Yeah, and I saw an interesting stat that our population is around 97,000, and during the day, it drops down to about 85,000. Because people have to go work somewhere, right? If we could get those jobs here, that would be nice. It would
Oh, definitely.
save a lot of headache and heartache for a lot of folks, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely, and it saves energy if people can work here and they live here, and they contribute to the community. So.
Right.
It's
Right.
really
We want our
bad.
people staying here and making Vacaville, you know, one of the top 10 small cities in the United States.
Yes,
I had to throw that little
that's
plug in.
that's impressive.
That's
You know, being the top 10 cities in California would be huge.
Yeah, I'd take California, yeah.
But in the United States, that's impressive. And when you come here, you understand why.
Right.
You've got the services here. You got entertainment. You got nice parks. It's a great place to live. Lots of job opportunities. Lots of cultural opportunities, and you're near everything if you want to go there.
That's
it's
right.
really a great place to be, to bring your business, to live.
So I mentioned downtown. What's happening downtown?
Well, we did get a grant to do a streetscape and connectivity plan for downtown, so we're going to be looking at how can we make the just streetscape attractive, how to improve it. Is it more benches, lights, artwork, those sorts of things.
Strolling musicians, maybe? Is that? Well, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, okay, but that's not something we would install, right?
No, we're not. Not going to.
I just installed a violinist and an accordion player. Knock yourself out. No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, but potentially look at some areas where there could be some public art.
Sure. And of course, there's other projects going on.
Oh yes, we're very busy. We're still updating our residential design standards. We expect in the next couple months to take that proposal to the Planning Commission. So basically, we adopted residential design standards in the mid-'90s, which worked good for a while, but with a lot of the new housing types of developments, they don't really fit very well, and so we're updating those standards, and we expect to come to the Planning Commission soon with that.
Now, I know we had a poll on our website about that very. How'd that go? What kind of feedback did you get from folks?
It went great. We got a lot of feedback, a lot of hits, and a lot of good information. Just comments that people made. We want something different. They're interested in some more modern styles, different kinds of housing. So it was very useful for us.
Yeah, I mean, I took it. It was cool. I mean, there's examples of the different types of streetscape. I mean, not elevations and different the front house, how the front looks. Does it have a porch? Does it have a this? Does it have a that? I thought it was great. So I'm glad to hear that people did respond.
Yes.
I mean, I did see some of the comments, and most of it was pretty positive and
definitely.
constructive, which is what we're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we have the big C on here too.
Oh yes, we're going to be dealing with, or M if you want to go that way, but the cannabis
I'm being
regulations.
clinical about it.
So the council's put a moratorium on cannabis-related uses for the time. So don't come in today and ask if you want to do something.
Gotta have my permit.
Yeah, so we'll be dealing with probably 3 different ordinances over the coming year. One will deal with the home grow rules. The next will probably deal with the industrial uses. So can you grow here in an industrial area? Can you produce it here? And then the third will probably deal with retail sales. So those 3 ordinances will come over the next year for the council to consider and weigh.
To ponder.
Yes.
Wow. Well, and these are just the ones we know about. This is not including stuff that's going to walk in the door and say, "Hey, I'd like to put a X or a Y or a Z here, there, or everywhere."
Oh
right?
yeah, definitely. We deal with that all the time. In fact, there's already a couple large projects that are thinking about coming, and so those could.
And can you tell us or?
Well, there's the Green Tree Golf Course. It's
Oh,
one thing
yeah, that one. Forgot about
that's
that
a
one.
big project that we'll be working on in the coming year. That they're wanting to redevelop that into a sort of mixed use project. So that's another big project.
All right. Well, that's great. Well, you've had a busy year and you've got another busy year ahead of you. So so maybe we should wrap this up so you can get back down to your office.
I will be hitting it right as we get done here. So.
Good deal. Barton, thank you for taking a little time out of your day to tell us what's happening in your department.
Well, you're welcome.
And thank you all for watching this episode of What's the Plan. We'll see you next time.